Woo! So I survived the day skiing all in one piece, back at the van, and so now we're going to continue the drive onto Slovenia and Croatia. So probably do a few hours driving tonight, and then do the rest of the trip tomorrow, so we can arrive about sort of lunchtime, and probably at a campsite in Slovenia. Hopefully it'll be warm. We can go rock climbing, but it seems quite improbable at the moment when it's like minus 1 degree here. And like piles of snow in front of us, and we're like sitting in an icy car park, but we'll see. So after a few days up in the mountain there, the battery's cooled down to 2.9 degrees is the coldest temperature, so quite a cold battery, nearly frozen. I'm sure it'll warm up quite quickly when we start driving, and hopefully it'll probably give us some more available energy. The van is showing 130 miles of range. Just coming down to St. Martin. This is where I skied down to like a few hours ago. And now it's -4 down there, it's -4 down here, which is pretty cold. It's the coldest we've had on so far this trip. Even though it's -4 outside, it's toasty warming here, and it's lovely to have a heated seats and the heated wheel. Make you feel really, really warm and cozy. Woohoo! So we've made it to Slovenia. So we drove a couple of hours from where we are skiing today in Austria, across the border to Slovenia. Plugged into a charge point and charging. Just downloaded a Slovenian charging app. I'll put the details up here. But this one is 25 cents per kilowatt hour, which is really cheap compared to what you pay in Austria and Germany. So after driving for a couple of hours, and we had one quick 10-minute rapid charge as we bought the Slovenian vignette. The battery has heated up from about 4 degrees to about 23 degrees. It's the Slovenian vignette for driving in Slovenia, and we also had to buy one for Austria. It was only about 15 euros, so not too bad. Last night in the campsite in Austria, I had a bit of a disaster with the sink. I was refilling the water and I accidentally applied too much pressure to the water pipe going up into the bottom of the sink, and I think I've cracked the bottom where the water pipe enters the tap underneath the sink. I need to have a proper look at it. But basically what was happening when we turned the tap on, the pump starts and the water was just spraying everywhere, like underneath the sink there. In the meantime, I've just thought of a fix, which will mean that we don't have to go outside with empty bottles all the time. Undo this connection here. There we go, like that. Then we just have a pipe I can pull out, like that. And now when we turn the tap on, you ready? There we go.
Nice. Oh, it's a bit like the old van though.
Whoa! So in our old van, I had a
hose like
a hose like this, but no sink, which is a constant disaster because it comes out of here at like a really high rate. Anyway, at least this is way better than going outside the van. Good morning. We've made it to Slovenia. Plenty of snow everywhere. It was about -1 overnight. Looks like a really nice little village. Lovely view over there. There was no checks at the border. We just passed straight on in. Really nice unit this. Not seen one like this before. Must be a Slovenian company. 3-phase, 22 kilowatts. I think 22 cents per kilowatt hour. There you go. Just put my charging cables back in my frunk. So probably gonna drive for another hour or two today. Just making some breakfast and coffee in the van. So we're back on the road after that little stop in that little town in Slovenia where we used the charger overnight. All worked really well. Only one little hiccup though during the night. So we had the van switched on all night, charging and running the heating. But during the night, I think it was about 4 in the morning, like Amy sort of woke up and said, "Oh God, my nose is cold. It's cold in here." And I was like, "Yeah, it is cold in here."
I sleep with the owl mask on, and so my nose is the only thing exposed. That at some point, obviously, I decided my nose was too cold to sleep, so I elbowed Glyn and was like, "Oh, it's cold. I've got a frozen nose." And then seconds after that, I don't know whether it was because I woke up and Bailey thought, "Oh, I've got permission to come and disturb him or something." Bailey came over and asked to be let under the duvet, and his ears were feeling chilly. It was quite cute. Anyway, so then Glyn investigated.
So I realised that the van had stopped charging. I had a look at the app for the Slovenian charging station we were using, and it looked like the session had expired. So 4 in the morning, I had to put some trousers on, go outside the van, unplug the van, replug the van, open the app, start the charge again, and get back in. And very very quickly the van got warm again. But yeah, no major dramas, but a little bit annoying.
You found out that was at, what was it, 1:10?
So I looked at OVMS and it said that the charging had stopped at 1:30 in the morning, and it wasn't until 4 o'clock that we noticed that it was getting rather cold and the charging had stopped. So the van was still switched on and it was just blowing cold air. And actually what was happening was the whole van was running from the 12 volt batteries. The 12 volt was actually down to 11.5 volts. So it's quite lucky we did notice that had happened. Otherwise it may have just ran the 12 volt battery down. I'd like to set OVMS sends me an alert when the charging stops. So I'm going to try and make sure that even when my phone's on silent overnight in the future, I'm going to try and make that like a loud alarm alert, so I get notified if the charging does stop. But to be honest, it's very rare that this happens.
Or a 12 volt battery warning.
Yeah, or a 12 volt battery warning, that would be useful as well. It's very rare that this happens. I think I can only remember it happening like once before, maybe when a hookup tripped in the night. Anyway, we're back on the road now. We're heading towards Osp, where we're planning on going climbing. Just going to stop off en route to see if we can find a plumbing store to get a replacement tap connector for this one that's broken here, so we can fix our fix our sink. Really enjoying being somewhere new. It's fantastic to wake up this morning. Look out somewhere new. Afraid we were unsuccessful at finding the tap connector to fix our sink. However, we were very successful at finding a supermarket, and we bought lots of tasty food, and that must be one of the best looking avocados I've ever seen in my life. Oh no, disaster in the van. The water tap saga continues. So I rigged up this temporary water pipe here that the water can come out of, because the pipe that feeds the tap is cracked. Obviously it's super dangerous now, because if we turn that tap on, which turns the switch on, which turns the pump on, water comes flying out of here at a really high rate. So to make sure we remember about it, I've put duct tape over the switch. Although it didn't stop Amy last night after brushing her teeth, absent-mindedly turning it on and sending water everywhere. So I was telling her off for doing that, and she's just gone to the toilet now, so sending me in the van. But I just went to open this lid, and you never guess what happened. The duct tape stuck onto the inside of the lid. So as I lifted the lid up, the duct tape pulled the switch up, which sent water flying all over the van, all over Amy's slippers, which I have to clear up. I've been searching trying to find this part, and it's like a £2 little connector part I need. It's super easy to get in the UK, but I couldn't find any place in Croatia or Slovenia that stocked it, so looks like we'll just have to make do with this pipe from now on. Sub-zero temperatures and brittle plastic, and pulling them too far, pulling it too much doesn't end well. You never guess what happened to me.
What? You turned on the tap?
No, I didn't. Wait until I tell you.
What?
I just lifted up the lid of the sink here, and The duct tape I put on to stop you turning it on. The duct tape turned on the top. Good morning. Okay, we're in Mijapek in Slovenia, and this is where we plan to go climbing. Some friends are joining us in a bit, but for the next couple of days it's just Amy and I. The van from this hookup, I've just unplugged it now because we're almost full. But inside here is a whole load 6 like Shuko sockets, and it's quite a weak hookup. We're quite a long way from the buildings over there, so I just kept the charge rate low. I've got a little like plug-in voltage adapter thing, and when the van was charging at 10 amps it went down to 219 volts. That's pretty low, so I kept it about 7 or 8 amps. Not to draw too much current. It's obviously a long cable run, so there's quite a bit of voltage drop. We're going to be here for quite a few days, so absolutely no need to charge fast whatsoever. Pretty cool to see even here in remote Slovenia. A lot of the houses are heated with massive heat pumps. There's a big thermal store outside that one. Really cool to see these little allotment veggie patches here. We've just got ourselves an allotment back home, so this will be our first year of allotment, of being allotment holders. And that's the famous viaduct bridge over there carrying the motorway. It's pretty impressive. So after a couple of days climbing in Slovenia here, in Mijapek, we're now going to be heading over the border to Croatia, where we're going to be meeting up with some friends and staying in a shared gîte for the next sort of week or so. Even though it sounds like we're going a long way crossing the border, it's not actually very far. Where we are in Slovenia here, it's like 20 minutes to the Italian border and about 20 minutes to the Croatian border. First we're going to go via the coast. We're going to have a little have a look at the beach and go to a climbing shop to see if we can find a climbing guidebook for Croatia. Explore some crags in Croatia this afternoon, hopefully. Tried to cross the border into Croatia, and that red dot is where we're trying to get to, where we're staying in the village there, and yeah, that blue dot is where we are. So we had literally about like 10 minutes of driving to do until we were there. We were told that border crossing is only for locals and EU citizens. Because we're not an EU citizen anymore, thank you Brexit, we now need to use the international border crossing, which is an hour-and-a-half detour. But we could just have driven 10 minutes. This is really annoying. So because of this really long 60-mile hour-and-a-half detour, we're going to have a little rapid charge top-up. So that's what we're doing here, using these petrol units. There's 2 high-speed 150 kilowatt units over there, and this is a 50 kilowatt unit here. So this is the new guidebook we've picked up for climbing in Croatia. It actually covers Slovenia and Croatia, but this Istria region is where we are, which is this like peninsula here. So this bit here is Croatia, this bit here is Slovenia, this bit here is Italy, and over here is Hungary. So it's right like on the intersection of all these borders. So we are trying to cross the border here, but now have to drive all the way around there because that border crossing there is only for EU citizens. We need to do the international border crossing over here, which makes it a much longer detour. Right, we're queuing up to cross the international Croatian border. So yeah, we need to get stamped out on our passport to because we're leaving the Schengen region here. Even though Croatia is in the EU, it's not in the Schengen. So because of Brexit, every day we spend in the Schengen area is like the clock's ticking, because we can only spend a certain number of days per year. But once we enter Slovenia, that clock will stop ticking. We can spend as much. We can stay in Slovenia.
Croatia.
Sorry, Croatia. We can stay in Croatia like I think indefinitely, or at least for a very long period of time. Woohoo! We've made it into Croatia, past the international border. Got stamped out of the Schengen, and yeah, now we're in Croatia. Exciting. So we just arrived at this Žit here. We're going to be staying with some friends for a few days. And we asked, and they said it's okay to charge the van. And there's a Shuko socket under here. I've just plugged into it there. And in the back here, I've got this plug tester thing, which is plugged into the sockets in the van. So this is quite useful. It lets me know what the voltage is, and it's quite interesting. This one, 2 lights are showing there, which means that the live and neutral are reversed. These European sockets, you can put the plugs in either way. So I just need to take that out, spin it round, put it back in, reset the RCD. There we go. Those 2 lights are now on the left, 230 volts, live and neutral, the correct way. Perfect. Let's plug the van in. So this is using an open EVSC in there, where I can adjust the charging rate. It's currently set to 10 amps, the standard for Shuko sockets. That noise you can hear, that's the air conditioning running, because we've just driven about, I don't know, about 100 miles today, so the battery's quite warm. There we go, now the current is going up. So what I do now is just check the voltage, check it hasn't dropped too much, so because that will be a sign that it's a very weak supply and I should reduce the current. But no, yeah, it's 230 volts, which is good. We thought we'd go out to have a little explore while there's a little bit of daylight left. It's a really remote little village in Croatia. It's beautiful around here. It's really remote though, nothing around. Fantastic. This region of Croatia, it's known for its truffles. Not the little chocolate ones that we're used to, but like proper truffles, which I don't really know what they are, but I think they're expensive and hard to find, and they come from the ground. You know, we're just laughing at Bailey now because he's running around like a headless chicken. And we're like, can you smell the truffles, Bailey? Can you smell the truffles? He's got one hell of a nose, so if any dog can sniff out truffles, I reckon Bailey can. He can sniff out a crisp when it's gone down the back of the sofa a week ago. Evening stroll turned into like a bit of a 12k mission to the woods. Oh, it's pretty bright in my eyes, but we're nearly back now. That was pretty exciting. Yeah. Super remote we were, like follow these little tiny trails through the woods with the odd little hunting tower.
He's just staying inside the van while he dries up. And then here's our lovely sheet, welcome. More like apartments. Just suspicious about who's knocking at the door.
Winter has arrived in Croatia. Look at this, it's snowing like crazy up here in Croatia. Whoa! All this fell in like the last 10 minutes. We seem to have a little snowstorm in Croatia. It is heavy snow. Look at this. The van is covered in snow. You excited, Bailey? What's this? Oh, there seems to have been a snowstorm in the night. I think there's a van outside there somewhere, but I can't see it. Let's go and take a look. Good morning. It's a very exciting one this morning. There seems to have been a bit of a snowstorm overnight. Oh, it is pretty buried. Look at that. That's a lot of snow. That's a good few inches of snow. Good job we got the winter tyres on. Whoa, look at that. There's so much snow here. It's amazing. So the van was actually charging last night when the snowstorm hit, and I unplugged it because the power was going on and off. I didn't want the van to be, be having any surges or anything, so I haven't unplugged it. So I'm going to try and plug it in now and then get the charging going again. Maybe get it preheated, melt some of the snow, try and brush some snow off. But everywhere is so beautiful. It looks lovely and warm. I know. Looks really nice in the sun. Yeah, it's beautiful up here, lovely and warm. Alright, good day's climbing. Climbed till dark. Always a good sign. Nice little sunset over there. What do you think of the route?
Yeah, super absorbing. Had like a corner and then a bit of a cave and a scary kind of come out the cave, but then there are lots of good holds, so yeah, all good.
Didn't actually expect to be climbing in the sun today when we woke up to so much snow. Back up into winter wonderland. Travelling back to the G2 where we're staying. Up to 650 metres. And we're definitely above the snow line now. It's 0 degrees and piles of snow still beside the road. They did a good job of ploughing it. There's still little bits on the road here. Very windy, wiggly road. Yeah. Made it back to where we're staying. Oh, it's pretty cold. Still quite a lot of snow around. Just tried to do a better job. shoveling snow off the driveway here. So it's amazing how icy it gets once it's frozen. Fortunately, our time here has come to the end. But we've had a great couple of weeks climbing here with our friends, Luke and Kate. Yeah, it's been really great. It was really nice climbing. Had some fun playing in the snow. Visited some nice little towns and things. Time to start the long journey home from Croatia to Slovenia to Austria to Germany to Belgium. Might go through Luxembourg, then to France, then the UK, then Wales. So probably do that drive over the next like 2 or 3 days. Yeah, let's see how it goes. I went down to -6, probably the coldest night we've had so far. But this morning, so the van was charging overnight from domestic socket. And this morning I started it preheating. It's been preheating for about 40 minutes now. Just taking Bailey for his morning stroll. Enjoying the last little bit of Croatian snow here. Looking forward to getting back on the road. It was quite funny. Luke and I were out climbing in the van yesterday, and Kate and Amy here took Luke's car, this VW Golf Blue Motion, to the coast yesterday. But coming home, they went to put fuel in, so they couldn't get this fuel cap open. It must have been like frozen shut or something. They were trying for ages, couldn't get it to open, so they couldn't put any diesel in. And so driving home, like the range was showing like 12 miles less than they needed to get home as they were driving up the hill. So yeah, rather interesting range anxiety drive for Kate and Amy last night. We thought we might have to go rescue them in the van, but they managed to get like a big box of fuel. Just talking about your fuel cap, it seems to be like popping in and out just fine now.
Yeah, it's so weird.
And typically on the last rapid charge of the day, we've had our first problem of the day.